Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamshachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanannam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I salute Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of the demons Kamsa and Chanura, the dear darling of Mother Devaki, and the Guru of the entire universe. We salute him again and again. So we are back to reading of the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are in the book number 7, chapter 15, and we read up to verse number 56. What we read last time that the goal of householder life is also God realization. And they will equally reach the same goal if followed by the process of purification. So there are two paths we have read the other day. It's called Pravritti and Nivritti. One leading to rebirth, another leading to freedom. What is the rebirth? I say even the activities, all sacrifices. In early days they used to have homo fire. They used to collect all these different very difficult items and do many varieties of jagnas. And each jagna will give certain result. So those are all earthly things to enjoy the life, longevity life, etc. That's why they are subject to rebirth. That's the path of what is called the pravritti. And nivritti is the path that there is unselfishness and every action is dedicated to God. The same action dedicated to God that will lead them to the freedom, nivritti, liberation. And the pravritti, those who follow the path of pravritti, they will go to the path of pitrijana. Pitris, the path of the pitris, many forefathers. Because they do good jobs, they go to higher plane and meet with their parents, grandparents, or world of music, musicians go in a higher plane. But they meet, go there, enjoy the association, then again come back. This is the way of pitrijana. And following the pitrijana, the path of the forefathers or fathers, post-mortem state that waits one who is involved in pravritti or work with desire. So the subsequent effect of the sacrificial offering generates some ethereal body, subtle body. And ascend through the deities associated with the smoke. When you offer in the fire, it goes through the fire and smoke goes side by side. Those who are pitrijana, they will enter into the smoke, and the smoke to the night, to dark night of the dark fortnight. Then the southern solstice, when most of it, like now, days are very little, most of the time night. That means the path is darker path. That's called the pitrijana, the path of the forefathers. People doing some good work even, charity, or they call ishta and purta, that also is mentioned. Doing some charitable activity for the poor. Early days they used to dig some well or tank for drinking water, prepare road for public. So these are called good work. But that done with my name. My name should be inscribed. So if that desire goes, that is the path of the darkness. So that's why people consider how much you believe or don't believe. There are faith that if one dies, which time he's done, he left the body. When the day are long day and he dies, then what will happen? Most of this travel journey will be daytime. Night is shorter. He will die when the full moon night. The whole night, even night, daytime light, nighttime also light. Like that, they go in the path of light and raise from one level to other level according to their karma, and then from there they move on towards the higher and higher planes. And the path of non-return, that's the nivritti.
But Sri Ramakrishna asked that almanac to check that which day he will pass and that, and it was a time close to new moon.
New moon, full moon night. For Brahmogyanis, that exceptional rule, because as soon as they leave the body, they are awakening his own self-knowledge. So these day-night issues are not important for them. But to ordinary people like us, sadhakas, this rule follows there. Every protocol is for the ordinary people, but it is the God, Lord Himself. There is no rule.
Then why did he bother to check the almanac?
To create some time, faith maybe, or I do not know. Why he did, you'd have to ask him. But mostly I think that it is his will.
Is there a most auspicious time to pass for regular people?
Yeah, there are, they say there are auspicious times, period. Mainly they say the path of light. Suppose if I am to drive long distance, simple example. Your journey starts, you start in the early morning, whole day, light, no? And day is longer, night time is short. Then you take a little rest even, you don't drive even, you can stay. And then again morning, or night time is a full moon night. So it is light, there is also light, here is also light. The path of light, so you can go smoothly. But if there is, night is more, darkness is more, people are always, how much expert driver may be, dark night driving and daytime bright light driving is totally different. So similarly in life's journey, that is they say, they go from the path of light to light to light to light to light. And those who are ordinary people to rebirth, to come back, they go from, let's say, a little less light to the dark night, to maybe full moon night, new moon night, like that, where the dark night is. So it is driving is hazy, difficult. That's why they cannot make much journey. So that is the belief. Gita also suggests that idea. Bhagavatam also telling the same idea. He says that the subtle effects of the sacrificial offering, when you are offering into the fire, if you generate an ethereal body, it creates a subtle body. Ascent to the deities associated with the smoke. When you are offering in the fire, there is smoke also, there is light also. They take the path of smoke. And that smoke to night. Night time is dark. To dark fortnight. 14 days of this, going to dark. Southern solstice, etc., to the sphere, to the lunar heaven, and the dissolution of the heavenly body due to grief, and the descent through rain. So you go there and dissolve in that heavenly body, and then after some time descend through rain to vegetation, food, etc., ending with the birth of the world. These, O king, constitute the Pritrijana, the path of the fathers. Passing through the stages after stages, as described above, one is reborn. So he goes to different channels and comes down, the soul, and then is born. There is a path of nivritti. It is only Dija or twice born one who has undergo all the purificatory rites from conception to cremation and perform the Vedic rites described earlier, that becomes eligible to tread the path of the forefathers. No? Those who have followed the Brahminic way of living and they have observed the sacrificial fire, otherwise they will go to hell. Other path is also there, more darker path, but they are talking of the higher path, two higher path. Another path is also there, which takes us to lower birth, lower life. No? So karma, it's all karma. But one who is devoted to nivritti, the path of non-return, liberation, sacrifice in the senses rendering blessing by their knowledge, they always analyze the real, unreal, all those philosophy, or prayer, meditation, all those, and offer everything, oblation, and consisting of Ishta and Putta, they do some good job for others, but give it to God, not for their name and fame. If they do, then they process to the path of meditation, and that path actually takes to the, she says mantra, japa, mantra goes to the omkara goes to the dot bindu goes to the sound goes to the spirit, and indwelling spirit in the Supreme Spirit. That's why I say journey goes into subtler and subtler and goes to the Om, then A-U-M, and then dot, Chaturtham, fourth stage, they reach there. In this way, one has a true understanding of these two paths. With the help of Vedic teachings, will not get infatuated even when this body is where. So if you know the two paths, now you can select which path you want to go. So those who have true knowledge of this, they can take a decision. I'll go to this path or that path. Now, now we're starting 57th verse, which says knowledge of non-duality, that is the highest, and that will happen how? That 57th verse, that which was before the origin of the body and remains as it was, unsublated at its dissolution, which manifests both as the enjoyer and the enjoyed, the higher and the lower, knowledge and the object of knowledge, word and its significance, light and darkness. All these are the knowing one himself. Wherever there is nothing as the other, different from the self, there is no question of infatuation or fear. So, infatuation or fear comes from duality. But this takes from duality to non-duality. And in non-duality, there is the knowledge. And then their knowledge and object of knowledge and word and significance, light, darkness, all they resolve. The reflection of an object is actually observed as, and they give an example, why we see the world then. He says that the reflection of an object is actually observed as existing, though in the eye of a logic it is not there where it is seen. The gross example, you see that you put a stick in the water and you see that stick is divided. You see the reflection. But it is not divided. Stick is not broken or anything, but it appears. So this universe of duality appears. That is the point. In the same way, the objects experienced are not existences independent in themselves, as it is contrary to fact. So they are the expression of the will of the Supreme Being. They said God, Lord appears like that, or He has created this universe out of His own, which is not ultimately, it is His magic, it is Maya, all this terminology. So they are the expression of the will of the Supreme Being, appearing to be independent existence so long as the jiva does not realize the oneness with the Supreme. So how long we feel it is real? We are jivas, so long the jiva does not realize that I am one with the Supreme Truth, that long this duality exists for us. one who can identify himself with the divine, then this duality drops for him. In the being of the Lord, there is not the shadow even of earth and other material elements, neither as a collection of parts, nor as a development, nor as a transformation. So these are different theories of creation. Transformation is called the Parinamavada. The God, Lord, the Absolute has become the world. It's called Parinamavada. This material thing, God has become like this. Some will say, no, neither the material collection of parts are not development nor a transformation. These are not transformed. It appears. So different ways of viewing the creation, but creation means duality. So long we are in duality, this vision of reality, unreality question will remain, but when one merges into the Supreme Self, then he is no more any diversity. They are not in separation from him, capital, nor in union with him in any way that affects his unity. So this creation is separate from that reality. Nor it is, you cannot say it is separate from that reality. You cannot say that it is in union with him. They form a mittha, an experience without ultimacy. It is mittha means it appears, for the time being it appears, but it dissolves. Giving the example that how happens, well, so long you dream, the dream world remains true. When you wake up, then the dream reality is gone. So this reality is true so long we are under duality, under Maya. When the Maya one can cross by identifying himself with the divine, then this will drop automatically. They are mittha, an experience without ultimacy. Ultimacy means reality, perpetual reality. Even primordial elements are what? Khiti, te, apte, marudbam. Even the primordial elements, which are the wholes formed by collection of the subtle ingredients called tanmatras, this water we drink. How the water is created? Our Vedanta Saro says that subtle water is there. 5 gross element, 5 subtle element. What are the subtle element? Same air, water, air, fire, etc. in dream. Dream time the water we drink, that is called the subtle water. Dream time the breath we take, now I am taking the gross breath. Body will take that when I am dreaming also. But in dream world, when I breathe in the dream body, not this air. It is called the subtle air, subtle water, subtle space, subtle earth, like that. So, these are called tanmatras. Say that even primordial elements, which are the wholes formed by the collection of the subtle elements, say, combine. In a formula, there is a formula, half of the subtle element of water, suppose, added with 1/8 of the other 4 elements, that makes 1. That is the gross water. In my gross water I am drinking, like in a chemistry, you can think that you add subtle water, half in a test tube, and put 1/8 of earth, 1/8 of all the subtle, mixed together, and shake it, it will come the gross water. Similarly, gross air. Subtle air, you take 50%, and then add 1/8 of water, 1/8 of air, 1/8 of other elements, then making, that is a gross air, subtle air. So this is the gross air, is nothing but composed composite of the subtle elements of 5 elements. So it is Baba. See, this is book of bhakti. Sometimes they get entered into such, again says, you are reading Vedanta Sara. Without Vedanta Sara knowledge, you cannot understand this. So that's why it is said, before reading any book, read all those fundamental books. So, they are called tanmatras, and they do not really exist apart from the ingredients. The whole is only something imagined to explain the combination of parts. You are saying whole, the water, what I am drinking now, it is the whole. How? It is the combination of the subtle elements. Now, if the whole is imaginary and unreal, then whole, where is that subtle water, subtle air, where is that? Well, when I am dreaming, it is there. Then where did it go now? So it is non-existing. This is imagination. To teach us, to explain us something, they get these examples. So say, to the whole, W-H-O-L-E, whole, is only something imagined to explain the parts. This earth, water, etc., these are the parts, gross. This has been, how to explain this? Oh, it has come from the subtle. Where is the subtle? Subtle is in the dream. A dream, how can you catch in the dream? In dream time it is true, but dream broken, now how can you find out? So this is just to explain the physical reality, they are using this terminology. Now, if the whole is imaginary and unreal, the parts that are supposed to form them also be unreal. If you say, someone says, mentally imagine, take half glass of subtle water. First word mark, I am saying imagine. That is to be imagined. I don't find the subtle water here. So if you say, imagine a glass, and in that glass, half is filled with subtle water. Then add with it, mentally, imagine that you are adding 1/8 of the volume of earth element, fire element, air element, space element. If I say so, then that makes your drinking water. Suppose I say so, then what will be the net result? Point is that this is visible. How can you say this is true? It is not true because it started with imagination. So it is a way of explaining this gross element. They take the example of such things, actually they are not there. This is also a good example of understanding mithya. This Bhagavat, thankful to Bhagavat, giving this way of looking into the truth. I never thought before. We thought that it makes us subtle, but we accepted that formula of Vedanta Sara. But if your subtle thing is imaginary, and subtle imaginary thing making together become this is how can it be real then? If something is imaginary permutation, combination, and the result will be permanent, how can it be that? Understand this point. If your fundamental elements are imaginary, products should be imaginary. If I say, imagine there is a beautiful garden in the sky, and a beautiful roses are flowering there, and that flower is the subtle flower, and that has produced this gross flower. Okay? You said that you are guiding me to some darkness which is non-existing in the heaven, in the space, garden. Space in the garden is itself imaginary. And from that imaginary garden, some flower is coming, and that with a mixture of something has come here in the earth. It is a heavenly flower. Heavenly flower is also that the imaginary then. So what you see this is imaginary. Because your argument is that it is coming from the combination of the subtle elements. So this is one way of to how to feel that the world is unreal, God is real. This is another way of looking at.
Is one explanation that creation is in the mind of the creative
Yeah.
Brahman?
And that you accept the creation, then you will have to say it is there is a creator, and the creator has a cosmic mind, we call creator's mind, God's mind. Yeah, that you can explain. But where is God's mind come from? When God is there, that's a God's mind. Who has created the God? Hey, there comes the question, who has created God? They say Brahman. No. Brahman is then where is this come from? So again complexity. So it is to be said, what you see is wrong. It is all Brahman. Thus, always whenever we accept duality, we will have to say creation, creator, world, Jeev, Jagat, Ishvara. Three things must have to be brought into picture. Jiva, individual soul we are. Jagat, this created universe, sun, moon, stars, earth, water element, all these things. And Ishvara, who created. Jiva, Jagata, Ishvara. But Jeev, Jagat, Ishvara is nothing but Satchidananda. That's the final conclusion. Now if the whole means this one is imaginary and unreal, the parts that are supposed to form them also unreal. Therefore, even though there is no difference in Atman, the sense of recognition, best of difference would persist so long as there is ajnana. So long you are in ignorance, ajnana, this duality will continue. Then the question will arise whether the scriptural prohibition and injunctions based on this sense of difference will not be unreal and not binding. And now it question, okay, everything is unreal, so where is my ethical life? I need not have to have any ethical life, it's unreal. You cannot say that. If it is unreal, the unreal police will come to beat you with unreal body. And then unreal body will cry out, ha ha ha. The unreal body will be put into jail, and unreal body will undergo the suffering. So you don't make that mistake. So long you are in the duality, rule follows you. You do good thing, good will come, bad thing, bad will come. Not instantly. You feel that result in time, it happens sometimes. No. It takes some time, no. So it is just like beautiful idea. Then the question will arise whether the scriptural in people saying this, if you say, this very good argument, see this gross universe is all mithya, none. Why? Because it has come mathematically, you have said, there are chemists. So one God, big chemist, God, he has taken half part of the subtle water, and this subtle water, where does it come from, subtle water? What is that subtle water? Don't question that now. Subtle water has created, with the combination of other elements, this gross water. And every element is done. So now subtle water is mithya, is not there. It is only in the dream. Then if that is dream, this is also dream. So this is also mithya. Now if it is mithya, then I can do whatever I like. The prohibition and injunctions of the scriptures, I need not have to follow. Well, no. If you say, as I give the example, then yes, it is all mithya, I can do whatever. You can do whatever, then they will beat you, or they will reward you, or they will punish you. So when the punishment comes, then who is getting punished? Mithya? Okay, don't cry. If you take the liberty of this argument that everything is mithya and I can do whatever, for me there is no prohibition and injunctions of the scriptures, I don't want to follow them, then you are making a great mistake. So that is the point here. question will arise whether the scriptural prohibition and injunction, best of the sense of difference, will not be unreal and not binding for anyone. Those chaotic condition will come. That's why that story goes. An Advaita Vedanta student did something right or wrong, and the case was presented before the judge, and the judge gave the punishment that he will be jailed for so many days or something. Then the Vedanta student, she said, "Sir, I have something to ask." "Well, I am Atman, I didn't do anything." "No, I am not." Then the judge says, "I am not punishing the Atman to the jail. I am punishing who is speaking, this person, that person." So, prohibition and injunction remains so long we are in duality. If you are a Brahmajnani, it matters little whether they put the body, the body put to jail, body put to the honor and dishonor. Your mind is like that, but not you. You are not like it. The answer is that they are binding only so long as there is a spell of ignorance. So long in the mind there is a bit trace of ignorance, this prohibition and injunctions are very important. That's why moral life, ethical life, foundation of all spiritual growth. It is like sleeping and waking experienced in the course of a dream. After the basic dream breaks, they have no relevance. Such is the case with the Vedic injunctions and prohibitions. So, that is the point. That's why there comes a very important point. Shankaracharya says, Bhavadvaitam sada kurjat, kriyadvaitam na karichit. So, we get these two words, but here, Bhagavat, it is the word is explaining. Three Advaita is there. Bhavadvaita, Kriyadvaita, and Drabba Advaita, Drabbadvaita. Understand? Three Advaita. Bhavadvaita, Kriyadvaita, and Drabba. Drabba is the material things. What is that? So, by the practice of Bhavadvaita, Kriyadvaita and Drabbadvaita in regard to the Atman, the aspirant can overcome the three dreams. The state of waking, the dream proper, and the sleep, or the difference of objects and rights according to competency and claim of the fruits. So you can cover Bhavadvaita, Kriyadvaita and Drabbadvaita. If you practice these three, we will understand what is that. They will talk about it just now. So by practice of the three, Bhagavat says, by the practice of Bhavadvaita, Kriyadvaita and Drabbadvaita in regard to the Atman, in related to Atman, these are the Atman is unchanging, Advaita. But in regard to Advaita, there is one Bhavadvaita, Kriyadvaita, and Drabbadvaita. Bhava, Kriya, Drabba. The aspirant, like us, can overcome the three dreams by practicing this Bhavadvaita, Kriyadvaita, Drabbadvaita. Three dreams. What are the three dreams? Waking state, sleeping state, and dream state. Waking, dream, and sleep. Three states. Jagrat, Sapna, Susupti. Jagrat, Sapna, Susupti, Avastha, Su. All these three states we are going through every day. This is the duality. One can cross these three states by practicing Bhavadvaita, Kriyadvaita, Drabbadvaita. Duality is only imaginary. The duality means in imaginary. There is only oneness. But I am seeing this duality, that duality itself is imaginary. Because after knowledge it does not stay, that's why it is called imaginary. It is superimposed. It is unreal, but it is appears to be real. No? Duality is only imaginary and not real in itself. The reality of an effect lies in its cause, as of cotton fabrics in the cotton. No? In the cotton fabric, if some clothing are done cotton, the cotton fabrics, cotton is the foundational thing. So here, the duality is only imaginary, not real. The reality of an effect lies in the cause. Reality in the effect. So in the cloth, cloth is the effect, where cotton remains the reality. Though it looks like cotton, a cloth, but it is cotton, nothing but cotton. Similarly, cotton, the causal substance, is real, and the fabrics are one with it. এখন fabric may be in different, used in designs and other things, but it is cotton only. So the whole world is cotton only. It appears so many ways and so many form, but the inherent element is the cotton. Cotton, the causal substance, that is the reality, and the fabrics are only with it. To cognize in that way the unity of all existence in the one supreme cause is the Bhavadvaita. Bhavadvaita is what? Defining. To cognize in that way the unity of all existence. Existence as I am seeing in so many ways. Existence of earth, water, fire, sun, moon, stars, human, subhuman, animal, this, that, whatever, that if there is one underlying unity, the unity of all existence is in the one supreme cause. As the cotton is the cause of all fabrics, so similarly, supreme cause, Brahman or Atman, that is the substance, that is the Bhavadvaita. Bhava. Bhava means in your thought you think. All these existences are because of the absolute existence, Satchidananda, that is Bhavadvaita. So that's why he said, Bhavadvaitam sada kurjat. Shankaracharya says, you always keep your mind in constant contemplation. Bhava Advaita. It is all non-dual reality appearing in so many existential forms. So many existential form is nothing but one appearing so many. Think day and night, that's the Bhava Advaita. Kriya Advaita is the offering of all one's actions done by body, speech and mind in the Supreme Brahman. That's another. Kriya Advaita means you do practice Kriya. That's a practical Vedanta, what Swami Vivekananda has prescribed. Kriya Advaita means every action you do, you are working? No. You are offering to God. On God here is Brahman, Advaita. Brahmarpanam bhavatu swaha, swaha, swaha. So mentally we say Ramakrishna arpanamastu. So you can say Brahmarpanamastu. So any action you do, offer it to God, offer it to that Brahman. Because you're in action, in the level of action. Actually there is no action in Brahman. But because you are in the level of action, all actions to be offered to one reality. Bhavadvaitam, Kriya-advaitam. This is called Kriya-advaitam. In your every action, whatever you do, you offer it the Brahmarpanam bhavatu swaha, 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 swaha. So, speech and Kriya-advaita is the offering of all one's action, is done by the body, by the mind and speech in the Supreme Brahman. We say that at the end of our home of fire we say, what do we say? I, who am an embodied being, we chant here every day. Ita purvang prana buddhi deho dharmadhikarato jagrat swapna shushupti avasthasu manasa vacha karmana hastabhyam padbhyam udarena shishna jatkritam jaduktam jasmitam tatsarvam brahmarpanam bhavatu swaha. At the end of home fire, every time in our mantra, last mantra is this. There, home fire ends. What you did? Ita purvam. You have forgotten. You should transfer every moment, but you forgot. Whatever action I did from morning till now, just now in this moment you think, Ita purvam. Just till this point of time, 5:10. Ita purvam, prana buddhi, mano, ita purvam, mano, prana buddhi, deho. Prana means buddhi, intellect. Through the intellect, through my breathing, prana buddhi. Deho dharma, hunger, thirst, sleep, rest, all the deho dharma. Through the deho dharma, through the prana dharma, deho dharma, ita purvam, prana, deho buddhi, Om ita purvam prana buddhi deho dharma adhikarato jagrat. What have we done in this jagaran, in the waking state from morning till now? Jagrat swapna. Last night I have in swapna body, in your dream body, you do so many things, good, bad, whatever. Jagrat swapna sushupti. In dream state there is also ignorance and you live in there like a dull person. But that also, Jagrat Swapna. Manasa, what you have done by mentally, good, bad thoughts you have thought, Manasa. Vacha, by your speech, you have said something good or bad, Manasa, Vacha. Karmana, all your activities by hand, feet, etc. Karmana. Hastabhyam, padbhyam, by hand, by feet, etc. Hastabhyam, padbhyam, and Jatkritam, whatever I have done, Jaduktam, whatever I have spoken, Jat Kritam Jaduktam, Tat Sarvam, all that, Brahmarpanam Bhavatu Swaha, I offer it to the fire of Brahman. Swaha, let it be all burnt out. All the karmas burnt out. Every day, if one can think like that they are the practicing by the Kriya Advaita. Understand? Actually, that is the philosophy of Vedanta societies. Every kriya, every action is offering to God, and your karma, whether good or bad, in the fire of Brahman, it gets gone. What it remains? Nothing. It ashes. Ashes to throw away. No, that cannot bind anyone. Ashes cannot bind anyone, no? So it is rejectable. So, Kriya-Advaitam. This is Kriya-Advaitam. Bhava-Advaitam, Kriya-Advaitam. And now, Drabba-Advaitam. The recognition that the need for wealth and other means of physical life is the same for oneself and one's close kith and kin on the one hand, and for the strangers on the other hand, is Drabba-Advaitam. The recognition, we have to recognize that there is need of wealth. Money is needed, wealth is needed. Other means of physical life is the same, whether you do it for yourself or your friend or your other, with the element and help of others. So what material you collect, they are called Drabba-Advaita. So that is to be thought, it is for others. Main thing, what position you have, wealth, prosperity or anything, it is not yours. It belongs to God. It belongs to Brahman. So this is the Drabba-Advaita. In the Drabba, you are tuning, Drabba means matter, material object. This material object in your possession, your kith and kin, your friend, your love, your mom and dad, brother, sister, or your friend, whatever you have, wealth you have, it is all God. It is all Lord. So Drabba-Advaita, in all Drabba, you feel it is that reality is God. So these are the three ways you can transcend your life from the duality to the non-dual experience. Okay? So now, 60, verse number 66. O king, except in times of danger, a pious householder should perform his duties, sacred and secular, with unprohibited wealth, got by means sanctioned by the scriptures at the proper place and time. So, except in times of danger means when it is really famine or disaster going on, but normal lifetime, one's duty should be a pious householder. Just talking of the householder's life, they can realize God. This is the way they are talking, that a pious householder should perform his duties, whether it is sacred duties, spiritual, or secular duties, with unprohibited wealth. Unprohibited wealth means money and wealth gathered by proper means, not by cheating, not by stealing, not by fraudulent ways. By means sanctioned by the scriptures. That means honest earning at the proper place and in proper time. So, householder, any pious householder, whether they are in life position wherever, they will perform whatever duty, my mom's duty, my father's duty, duty to the friend, duty to the poor people, duty to the whatever duties come, they should be done with the unprohibited wealth. Prohibited wealth means stealing, killing, earning money by wrong means, no? But prohibited, no, unprohibited. Scripture don't say no to that. Honest earning and sanctioned by the scriptures and at the proper time and proper place. That's the point. You have to also give or earn in proper time and proper place. That means one person is hungry. If you give away simple some little food, that is good. But if a person is hungry, you bring a very costly jewelry to him. Costly jewelry, you can have 100 meals purchased by that money. But it does not mean anything. So when a famine going on, if someone brings a good golden chair to a famine-stricken person, will know a meaning. So give the person what he needs that time. That's called the sattiko dan. So give that with spirit and love, and you will earn money and give it to proper place. That's why give someone who is needed something, particularly that will really the crying need of the time. A man living as a householder, performing his duties and other Vedic rites in the manner described above, can attain to the Supreme Being even while he is a householder, provided he has a deep-rooted bhakti to the Lord. This is not only social work, because it's Advaita. People forget that. That's all connected with God. Bhavadvaita, Kriyadvaita, Drupadvaita. So this is Drupadvaita. This Drupadvaita, it is all God's and you are giving it to God. But you have to give in proper time, proper place and that way. And then doing this way, with love for God, with devotion, the Supreme Being, love to the Supreme Being, a householder will reach the same destination. He, the Supreme Master, God Lord, by whose grace you, the King, and your brothers were saved from the insuperable difficulties, he, by the service of whose feet you were able to conquer the whole world and perform the Aswamedha sacrifice without obstruction, by surrendering yourself to him, may you attain liberation. So, you are Yudhishthira. Aswamedha Yajna is talking about. So you became all by the power of God. That means with devotion, if you follow this principle, then be remaining in the householder is not the point. Same God realization will happen. Now, 69, few verses are there to end this chapter. We have solved time also, 10 minutes, we can read that. Verse number 69, in the past kalpa, in a cosmic cycle, Narada says, I was a Gandharva. My name was Upavardhana. I was held in high esteem by all Gandharvas. Who are the Gandharvas? Musicians, no? Eh? Gandharvas are who? Gandharva. Gandharva Loka. Gandharvas will be celestial, of course, but they are musician, art, dancing, I think that type of area. Actor. So, my name was Upavardhana. I was held in high esteem. Narada says, Narada himself, he recollects his own past life, said in the past kalpa, in the cosmic cycle, I was named Upavardhana, held in high esteem by all Gandharvas. That means he is not liberated. He got stuck into heaven. This is the problem. Then one great cycle, billions of years will pass. Then he has to born again. Baba, get it done now. Endowed with charming form. I had a charming form, sweet speech and fragrant odor. I was very dear to women and lived a life of drunkenness and pleasure-seeking. So Narada, going to heaven after so much good work, and got stuck there, and singing and dancing and forgot everything. That's why he said, don't go to heaven. Heaven is not a good place. It will delay only the spiritual journey. That's why it is need renunciation. So 71 verse. Once in a sacrificial festival of the gods, Devas, the Prajapatis were summoned. The Prajapatis, they summoned all the Gandharvas and Apsaras to sing about the sportive activities of the Lord. So an invitation was sent to all the Gandharvas and Apsaras to join in praising the Lord's glory in some ceremony. Though aware of this, I went there surrounded by women and singing love songs. The Prajapatis, noting my insolent conduct, cursed me by their power of austerity, tapas, saying, May you, who insulted all of us, become immediately a low-born one, deprived of all your power and beauty. Bah. So, see, you get so much high position and job gone. You are fired. So you go fired, he becomes the poor guy again, is born as a Narada then. After that I was born as the son of a maidservant. And in that birth, as I had associated with and served holy men, established in the thought of Brahman. So in that life, I was cursed, and then I was reborn, and in a widow's, I was my mother was a widow only, I was alone, poor. And then, but I was in the childhood time, I used to serve the holy men. All the sadhus used to come, like to help them, to be close to them. I became in a later kalpa the mind-born son of Brahma. So now I have become, again, that papam has gone away, then I have become now this Narada. 74. I have now described to you the sin-redeeming duties of the state of a householder. So, householder life is not bad. I have described you how in the householder life you can lead a life and reach the same destination. So by which she will reach the same supreme goal as the sannyasins. Verse number 74. Indeed, you are the most fortunate person in the world, because holy sages who trade is said to sanctify places are flocking to your house, knowing that the Supreme Being Krishna is staying at your house, hiding his identity under a human form. So you are fortunate now, oh Yudhishthira, all the people, holy people are flocking to your home to see Krishna, because Krishna is in your home. So, lo, this Krishna who is for you, your dear friend, well-wisher, uncle's son, he is the Atman, he is the only worshipful one, servant and teachers, he is verily the supreme, he is nothing. Sometimes he acts like a friend, a guide in your whole life, he is always surrounding your life, but he is the supreme Brahman, who is sought after the great men, who is the immediate experience of transcendent bliss. So he who comes and sees the Lord Narayana Krishna, they get freed from all trouble. Though Krishna is with you, playing like a friend, sometimes like a friend as a well-wisher, or your uncle's son, in different relationship, the same Krishna. Uncle son mane ki? Who is who? Krishna, Arjuna, what is the relationship? Kuda uncle elo kotheke?
Kunti was the aunt of Krishna.
Kunti was, Krishna's aunt was Kunti. So that is the relationship. But he is Satchidananda. Who is acting like that is Satchidananda. Like Holy Mother said to Shivuda, Ma, tell me, are you mother? Who are you? I am your auntie. Well, I am your auntie? No, you have to tell who are you. Ultimately his mother said, I am Mother Kali. So your auntie. People say. So mother, auntie. Auntie is in the apparent world of relativity, but you are the Mother Kali. People say Mother Kali means I am Kali. He whose form could not be described by Shiva or Brahman, Brahma, and whose worship is done through devotion, silence and tranquility, may he be propitious to us. Now the Sukadev says, Yudhishthira, the great leader of the Bharatas, was delighted to hear these words of the divine Rishi Narada. Overcome with devotion, he adored both Krishna and Rishi Narada. Receiving Yudhishthira's worship, Narada took leave of both the king and the Lord, and Yudhishthira was wonderstruck to learn that Krishna was none but the Supreme Brahman. So he is living with him, but never knew. Narada opened the eyes and said, you see, though he is like your friend, always guarding you and supporting you, Kunti's Manti. So, but he is the Lord God, the Supreme, who is beyond all duality. Thus described to you separately many generations. I have thus described to you separately many generations and families descendant from the daughter of Daksha, in which have appeared all species of beings like the Devas, Asuras and men. So, the whole world has come out of him, the Supreme Being. So, you are fortunate that God is living with him, and Yudhishthira got this wisdom that it is God living with him. And knowing that, he will be freed from all bondage. So we learn today a few words, very important words. This is the end of the chapter 15. Next day we'll read chapter 16, 7.16.7. 16th chapter, now it is, 7th chapter is done. So it will be, 8th chapter will start, 8.1, first verse. This is the end of the 7th chapter. That's all. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. At 7:30 will be our Upanishad class, Setar Upanishad. Okay, thank you all.